Hi Scorpio, this is wishkotheferret. Thanks for hopping into the Ferret Den where we're keeping things warm and we're keeping things cozy. Today we have a reading for you for May 15th to the 21st. We also have a new moon in Taurus coming up on the 19th, so if you want to capitalize on those astrological energies, definitely check out your favorite astrologer and also check out to see when it's happening in your time zone, because it could actually be on like the 18th or the 20th or the 21st, wherever you're at, okay? As always, Scorpio, drop into your heart space. Let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. You can go ahead and take a breather and pause the video if you need to get into that space, because I highly encourage you to really just sync up with whatever you resonate with. I also have like a few messages, like as I was connecting with the water signs, that I feel the need to share. Okay, so a few prophetic messages from before, some channeled messages, and then we'll get into your tarot. So first things first. Now, I use Christian terminology because sometimes that's how Spirit talks to me, but when I say Lord, God, whatever, please allow that to be synonymous with Spirit in general. And I'm hoping that I'm not triggering anyone by using those languages, but I do have a Christian background. Even though I'm not fully synced up with that religion, it is what Spirit uses to communicate with me sometimes. So whether it's universe, love, whatever you work with, your guides, your angels, or even if you do connect with like the Christian belief, definitely apply it as you see fit. But the messages that I get here, so the first one is the Lord saves all his prayers. So basically, Spirit is saying that to make, you have, why is this not coming through? Maybe this is more meant for Cancer, but no, Spirit's saying double back. So essentially, the Lord saves all of his prayers. So never mind. So this is for all the water signs. I was like, let me make sure. Sorry, I didn't want to tell you something that wasn't meant for you, but Spirit's like, no, that's true. So if you've been asking for something recently, Spirit is basically saying like, okay, you know what? No, never mind. I'm sorry, y'all. So let me finish this statement and then we're going to move on, because Spirit's actually trying to come through with something else. But I did tell Cancer, like, the Lord saves all his prayers. So like if you've been praying for something, Spirit is like happy to assist with that. But they're actually trying to say something different. So let me put this away and let me just be a vessel, okay? So I'm sorry. Let me be a vessel. Hang on. I'm hearing, try to remember where you came from and really treasure where you're at now, Scorpio. Breathe through this landscape. It's only temporary. It's like a temporary condition. So they're actually flashing some oracle cards at me, things that I know like the definition of, but essentially needing to be a herald of change. They're giving me like a horseman type of vibe, like the Knight of Wands type of vibe. And the message that's coming through specifically with this is that it's almost like you've been searching for an oasis. Okay, you've been searching for some kind of oasis in this dry desert, and you've been riding on motivation and determination and willpower for so long that you almost feel kind of dried up. And Spirit is almost asking you to like replenish what is within. I just heard something about indoors, so perhaps you've actually you're just outside too much and you're drying up. If you're like in a climate like that, perhaps you've been going out and doing too much, or you've been quite literally drying up. Spirit is recommending that you be indoors, be with yourself to rest and rejuvenate, and they're showing me quite literally just water, like drink more water. So that could be quite a literal message for some of you, of like more literal than actual metaphoric. But I'm just hearing that it's apparent that you need space, or that you need your own time to reflect, and you need your own time to come back within yourself. So make sure you're scheduling time for that, and also to get yourself grounded and to appreciate where you're at in this moment of time. Even if it seems like a dried up desert, you're still moving on towards grassier plains. It just might not be in sight yet, and that's okay. Spirit's asking for your dedication and your commitment at this time, okay? And right when I said that, the Two of Swords popped out for you. So the Two of Swords is necessary in order to make a decision. So I love how in this Two of Swords, like, it's always like this in like a bunch of other tarots as well. Even in the traditional tarot, she has a blindfold around her eyes. And the Two of Swords in this Tarot of Dragons deck, he's shielding himself with his golden wings. And for some reason in this reading, I feel like it has a choice. It is a choice to not see the truth. Your intuition is already calling you on your path to a certain direction. Spirit is saying you really need to let your intuition guide the way, because already as I'm shuffling, I'm getting swords cards for you. And, yep. Hang on, before I go too into this, I want to finish. Okay, yeah, I'm going to tell you why I'm getting excited. Okay, so first things first, Page of Swords. So already, Two of Swords, Page of Swords, it's almost like I just heard Spirit say something about a new environment is calling to you. And again, this could be like what we were just talking about with like feeling like you're in a dry desert and you're moving towards grassier plains. This is quite literally moving to grassy plains with the Page of Swords here. So the Page of Swords is a card of discovery. It's about coming up with new thoughts, new ideas, and it's like it's quite literally just going on an adventure to I just heard like finding a more permanent solution to a problem that has been persistent for you in the past. And you know you're approaching a time where you need to make a decision, and it's almost like you are purposefully hiding from that decision, as in this Two of Swords is. But intuitively you are being called to intuitively make that decision now, or make that decision very soon. And Spirit is actually calling you to explore new ideas and new ways of thinking so that you can accommodate this change, because everything that's happening around you right now is a reflection of your inner world and the things that you believe, and the emotions within you, and like the beliefs that you have. It's almost like I just heard you're harboring resentment for certain things that have happened to you, that perhaps you could have changed your decision or your choices, and then it could have guided you to something a little bit better for you, even if you didn't see it at the time. And Spirit is saying, not that everything's your fault, but there are things in your life. We got the Lovers card here as a focal point to your tarot reading. So this tells me that basically everything is a reflective pool. So everything that is happening within is reflecting in your outer world. So everything that you have within, all of your beliefs, all of your thought systems, your cognitive thinking patterns, like you are seeing that in the world. And Spirit is saying you have such a capability to shine. You might need to put in a little bit of work, but I feel like you are it might actually be easier than you think. I think it's easier than you think because there's so much intuition playing here. You're at that point in time now. It's not like you've made mistakes or you've messed up. And I mean, we've all made mistakes, but it feels like now is the time. Those experiences have served their purpose. They were there for a reason. Now you are being called to make intuitive movements towards whatever it is that you're doing this week, Scorpio, because you have the High Priestess. And again, the intuition is coming through so heavily in your reading. So I feel like spiritually, you know you're guided. You know you're guided. You feel that you're guided. And the High Priestess is a card of following your intuition. They know kind of, because we have black and white here, so you kind of understand the duality of the world, and you are seeing the thing that is unseen. You may not be able to consciously articulate what is unseen, but you feel in your heart, you have this inner knowing of where you need to be and the places that you need to go, so you know the steps that you need to take. But it's almost like your mind is kind of blocking you from getting there, and you're quite purposefully shielding yourself. And Spirit is saying, open up your wings, unfold your wings, and allow yourself to make the choice. Because when I look at the Two of Swords, I clearly see that one choice is way better than the other. But it's almost like you're shielding yourself because you don't want to see it. And you already know that one choice is very clear for you. That is the path you know you're going to follow. But it's almost like the sword just feels so different from the one side compared to the other. And it's almost like you need to have faith that you're making the right decision for yourself, because there's a reason you feel intuitively called to it. You will be successful with this next thing, or this next adventure is something that's written in your plan. You already know you have the skills to go about this new thing. Okay, you have, like, I don't know if it's like the emotional stamina or if it's the skills we're worried about. Whatever the case may be, you have everything you need. It's almost like you're just doubting it for whatever reason. Spirit's like, don't doubt it. Just move with it. Move with the current. You have Knight of Cups. So you also have, like, I also view like the pages are learning, like very learning cards, taking in information. So with the Page of Swords, you are taking in information to move forward with certain thoughts and beliefs. The Knight of Cups is exploratory in the terms of emotions. So I heard that in the past you might have been a little bit reactionary to situations, but now you are learning to take it slower. You are like integrating these lessons to help you move forward and explore and explore things. Perhaps you are learning to be less reactionary so that you can take into consideration others' needs, and it's allowing for better outcomes. Wow, that was very specific, and I was not expecting that message to come out. So, we'll just roll with it, guys. But essentially, the Knight of Cups is exploring. Perhaps there's emotional baggage that is causing you to be reactionary, and it's almost like you're identifying it. And again, I just heard like now that you are sitting with this information, perhaps you will make revelations this week, or perhaps you've already made revelations recently of like perhaps the way that you've been reacting to certain situations, and you're like, I wonder, like, now that it's brought to your awareness, that's like the first step towards change. And perhaps you felt righted in the past for like, or you felt justified in making like certain reactionary decisions, which is fine, but it's almost like it kind of messed you up in the long run, and you were like, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have like, made that decision or made that choice or said those things. But it's almost like you're like, I just heard you're a cool kid. You're a cool kid. So it's not like these decisions were off the wall bad, and like I'm not really getting like any like weird sense of anything. But whatever you choose, I just heard like, which will you choose? Like, which way will you choose to react this time? So given this knowledge that you have now, how can you make it so that you can have a better outcome? So maybe taking that pause to think about something before you agree to like the terms of like a new contract or something, or like before you react and say yes, maybe it's time to say no so that you can devote your priorities towards things that you actually care about. So maybe you've had even the reflex of saying yes when you really meant no, or saying no when you really meant yes, because there are certain mind blocks or something. It could be a situation like that. It doesn't have to be, like maybe, I don't know. I'm not getting the sense that it's explosive in nature where like somebody says something and you're like, but actually, like I'm not really getting a lot of wands type of energy here. I'm just getting that perhaps you've like dedicated some time and energy towards certain things that perhaps wasn't for your best benefit, or you've been reactionary doing something when really it's not serving your long-term goals, or it's not really giving you the greatest benefit in like the short run, when really there is a potentiality here for a better outcome. Okay, so perhaps you're just reflecting on things like that. And again, I feel intuition being very strong for you this time around, Scorpio. So I do feel like you'll be guided to kind of stop and wait to respond until you actually like think through something and be like, okay, like this is what I want to do, or this is the way that I want to respond. Okay, you also have heart home, compassion. This is the center of your oracle reading, or this is like the main focal point. So making sure that you are taking time to rest within and have compassion for yourself. So this is a very home-centered card. Sometimes this card pops up when quite literally I need to be at home to reconnect with myself and to not judge myself so harshly, but this is holding compassion for yourself so that you can hold compassion for others. So quite literally, even if it is something just like sitting in the home that you have to do for a little bit, holding that compassion is... and I'm hearing something a little bit for stagnation with you too. I think Cancer had something similar with stagnating. Don't fear stagnation, because this returning to the home, returning to your heart, this is something that quite literally has to be done often. I'm hearing that they could be checkpoints in your journey, because I do feel like humans are very cyclical beings, and maybe some of us can like go and work like the regular 9-to-5 grind, or we can consistently put out things, but I do feel like we need times and periods of rest. This is in terms of spirit saying socialization, so perhaps you've been putting yourself out there too much, and maybe you need to come home and reconnect with your own, even if you're not beating yourself up, perhaps you just feel drained from going out and doing stuff, or perhaps you feel drained from either working too hard or doing something. You just feel drained, and Spirit's calling you to come back and get centered in your heart, so that you can kind of renew your compassion and replenish your love of life and love with yourself, so that you can experience more joy. Spirit wants you to move forward with joy, so that's why they want you to reconnect, okay? Let's see what else we got going on. I'm also hearing too, don't be frightened of the divine, because they're here to help you. They're here to assist, okay? Very specific message for some of you. We have lost compass, getting back to integrity. And we also have as a companion card, stag, trust and thrive. So with lost compass, Perhaps some of you may have found that you're losing your way or you felt like you lost your way, but I do feel you getting back on track or feeling like you're getting back on track this week, especially now that we are like, I don't know. So we call these divine detours whenever we feel like we're making decisions that aren't fully aligned with our spirit. And then it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I feel like you have to backtrack and you're like, I don't feel like I'm fully aligned with these actions. But trust that even these divine detours are divine, basically. Sometimes we are meant to fall off of our path so that we can get more, like, so that we can understand and get back into alignment with who we are and to help make our motivations stronger. I also heard that like it could increase like the amount of pleasure or fun that we feel in our life once we like, it could like renew our sense of passion for things. When we lose our way, we appreciate the things that we're not aligned with. We can appreciate the things that we were aligned with and go, oh my gosh, like I missed that. Why did I even doubt for a second that that was where I needed to be? And you know, it can call us back to our place of where, not where we once were, but it could help renew that so we can put more energy and inspiration and come back with a renewed and fresh sense of mind. It's like, even if it's, we might be stumbling and even if it feels messy, it's still kind of like a spiritual vacation from ourselves. I wouldn't really call it too much of a vacation because it feels kind of otherworldly and out of balance sometimes, or it's like, this was just a fucked up mess, excuse my language, a fucked up mess I found myself in. So where do I go? What do I do? And it could be lost and confused for you. But it's almost like you're like recalibrating and then you're coming back again with that stronger cord, that stronger sense of self, okay? With the stag as a companion card, really trust that this divine detour was meant to happen so that you are able to come forward and thrive. Like perhaps you felt lost and you started wandering away from the pack or wandering away from, like, this is your soul, kind of like, I'm just imagining it as a vertical line, like a straight soul kind of going forward. And then I see you kind of diverging on this divine detour type of thing. Things are messy, lost, confused, but then you're coming back and it's almost like your connection with yourself has solidified and gotten stronger. And you've come back transformed into a strong, majestic stag, okay? When perhaps before you could have been like, you know, like a baby fawn or a baby deer or something like that. So I really do feel like this is transformative in itself and it's just causing you to be strong, okay? I'm hearing that you're making it work, and that in itself is magical, and Spirit's commending you for making it work thus far, okay? Because that's all they're asking you to do. That's all that you really need to be doing. Sometimes it's just making it. Sometimes it's just getting by. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect, but we're really just rolling with the punches here, trying to navigate the physical. Even if we feel things spiritually and like, we still have to navigate the physical experience of the world, even though it doesn't 100% fully feel spiritually aligned with what we came here to do or who we are as souls or who we are at our core. So it happens to all of us. You're never going to fully be 100% aligned all of the time. So it's totally okay. And Spirit's like, go, like you're doing fine. Just keep rolling with it. We also have jeweled web connectivity. And we also have as a companion card, leap of faith. So really trust that whatever it is that you're doing will cause, like I just heard that your impact will be like flooded, like floods humanity. So it's kind of giving me the sense that like whatever it is that you're doing, your cases may vary depending on the situation that you're in. But with jeweled web connectivity, it reminds us that we are a part of this interconnected web. So even if you are living off the grid and you are kind of living on your own and you're sustaining yourself, you are still adding to the heightened collective consciousness, even if you're not indirectly helping other human beings like in that moment, because your joy is still putting that energy out there, that connection to the earth, that energy is still being projected out and causing a ripple effect. I do feel for some of you, like not that you're living off the grid or anything, but you're helping people whether you realize it or not. And it's just adding your positive energy to the mix, or adding your love of life and joy to the mix is still affecting other people's energies from far away. So I'm not getting the ripple effect with you though. Spirit is saying it is quite literally flooding people. It's quite literally flooding their energy with such a positive impact. And honestly, if you take this leap of faith, that ripple effect right now can become a flood. Like, I do feel like it is a standard flood for you. I just feel like you're a very strong soul, Scorpio, and you do have a huge impact on humans and people, whether whether or whatever work that you enjoy. I'm feeling for some of you, it could be animals too. You could be working with animals, but you spread so much awareness for a cause, or you're somebody who promotes some type of living. I don't know. I just get a sense that this is like a very holistic energy that I'm talking to, or somebody who is very dedicated to a cause, or somebody who believes very strongly in lifting others up who have been broken down, or it's something like that. It's almost like you're lifting spiritual consciousness just with those intentions. So Spirit's actually encouraging you to take that leap of faith that you so feel called to, because that is going to help, cause that flood to be greater and help you lift like Earth's consciousness. Okay, and I can't remember if I actually read the leap of faith card, but it says, I'm ready to take a leap, angels. Thank you for doing it with me. Okay, so they are behind you. They're backing you up. Spirit's like, let's go. Hit that gas pedal because we're going. Okay, that's so funny because I just said hit the gas pedal. And I was like, oh, I know, like right before I pulled the card, I was like, I know I'm going to get a rest card. Here it is, y'all. The Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. And you have paired with it, Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards as a companion card. Oh my God, did I tell you? Guys, this actually, I believe, was the exact combination, this Garden of Venus and Lady. This was the exact combination that another sign got, and I couldn't tell you. Y'all saw me. I literally shuffled both decks. So that was crazy. But so hitting the gas pedal, this doesn't mean do. This is a time, like I said, because your central focus is heart, home, and compassion, coming back to the home, taking that breather. This is a time of rest and renewal. But hitting the gas pedal for you, like it might not be time to go, but this could be a time to rest and get yourself centered so that you can be prepared to take that leap of faith when it comes time to do that. When it comes time to make that Two of Swords decision, you're rested up and ready to go. And I'm not saying that when you hit the gas pedal, you're going to be go. Hitting that gas pedal for you could be potentially driving like 15 miles an hour. It's just a matter of going. It's just a matter of moving forward, that movement that causes that ripple effect that could flood humanity. And I'm not getting like a big rush. It could be a slow rush. It could be a big rush. But either way, I feel something permeating from this energy of I'm doing wonderful for the world just by experiencing joy, just by showing people my joy. So connecting and allowing yourself to feel rest and renewed can help you enjoy your growth. It helps solidify those experiences. It helps integrate things that you've had in your soul and the things that you've experienced recently. And it brings your joy up, and then you experience rewards that way. Okay. And lastly, to close out this reading, Mother, Father, God, not to close out this reading, but to close out the Oracle circle that I have on my desk. So you have Mother, Father, God. Now here, because heart, home, compassion is the focal point of your reading, I have Mother, Father, God here to kind of like be a companion card to close off this circle here. So these two are actually meant to be companion cards. So the thing with Mother, Father, God is it actually talks about ancestral healing. This talks about quite literally our interconnectivity with all. And so I'm really getting the sense this could be a pile, like I said, that really cares about the human collective and the issues with the human collective. This is why I'm kind of getting like an eco-friendly type of vibe from you, Scorpio, or I'm getting somebody who really acknowledges and hurts for the suffering of people in the world or animals in the world, or there's a certain cause that you really care about that you want to bring healing to. And with Mother, Father, God, it's recognizing the interconnectivity of everyone. So in order to renew your sense of interconnectivity with the world, the companion card for this is quite literally coming back within yourself to recognize yourself. If you want to be a healing agent for humanity, you need to be a healing agent for yourself as well. So taking care of the self here is just as, I just heard like, okay, they're coming through with specific language. They said, honey, if you want to take this healing energy to the collective, you need to take care of yourself. You need to pull that healing energy into yourself so you can fill up your cup and make sure that you can provide that same healing energy to the collective, okay? So really taking the time to sit with yourself. And I hear that through healing yourself, you connect a lot better with your guides, and that helps them send you intuitive information to help you move forward as well, okay? And then we have a little bit of, filling up our oracle circle here with 2 more cards, and then we'll get to your angel dice. We have closing door, completion. We also have broken arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So quite literally, I feel like with this 2 of Swords energy, this could be a decision that involves walking away from something, or even if it's something different. I just heard it's like something about a similar path. Perhaps you are saying no to one path, but you're embarking on a similar path just somewhere else. Whatever the case may be, you are closing the door to something. And that is embracing that energy of peace is going to help you make this transition a lot easier for yourself. So again, taking that time to rest and allowing yourself to close the door to something and fully bring a close to it. Just make sure that you are bringing the element of peace with it. And this isn't like burning bridges or anything. It's just you don't have to fight anymore. So if you I'm just going to use the example of leaving a job because that's like the first thing off the top of my head. Sometimes people want to burn bridges and go like, I hate this place and this is all the crap you did wrong, blah, blah, blah. And Spirit's saying, well, that's not really necessary. And I feel like you're going to want to embrace this energy of peace. Intuitively, you feel called to be calm and chill. So if you bring like a 2 weeks notice, for example, and again, apply this to your situation however you see fit. It's just an example. But if you bring your 2 weeks notice to an employer or something and they start getting real sassy and going, well, we didn't really need you anyway, or blah, 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 we're going to find someone better, if they start being immature about it, it's almost like that's not really going to affect you. And perhaps maybe in the past you felt the need to stand up and defend yourself, but it's almost like you're like, I'm leaving. I don't want to waste my energy on this. And you're going to choose to be like, okay, best of luck to you. And you're just going to finish out those 2 weeks like in such peace. And I feel like you're going to feel intuitively called to do that. Not saying that someone's going to come back and be snappy at you, but it's almost like you want to bring that energy of peace, but you're not really fussing over bringing that energy of peace. You know what I mean? Like it's coming naturally and it's like simmering the situation, because it's almost like if you feed it with negative or combative energy, then I feel like that's the energy that you're going to get. But even if you are faced with that combative energy, I feel like you're going to be like, but it's okay because I'm moving on. So I love that for you, because that is kind of like the bigger person thing to do, which I understand is a very hard thing to do sometimes. But sometimes like when you bring the energy of peace, people's true colors show, quote unquote, or like not their true colors, but I just heard like a nasty self might come out. If you choose to move on, sometimes I'm hearing that like a nasty self could come out. So from others. So, just be wary of that. I don't feel like it's going to affect you though in any way. I heard that you're a sharpshooter too. Just now I heard that you're a sharpshooter. So perhaps you're like a go-getter, or you have a goal, you're going to go to it. So I don't feel like you're going to feel guilty for closing the door on whatever it is that you choose to leave. Okay. So you don't even feel bad about it, I feel. 7, 6, 3 are the numbers on your angel dice. You are being aligned with your life force at this time. Express your passions and don't be concerned about any powerful sexual energy that is rising up within you. This is the fire of your creative self igniting. One more time, you are being aligned with your life force at this time. Express your passions and don't be concerned about any powerful sexual energy that is rising up within you. This is the fire of your creative self igniting. I do want to say, you can apply that to your situation however you see fit. This doesn't have to be a romantic situation, but I do want to explain that there are 7 main chakra centers in the body that people typically align with that philosophy. There is a sacral chakra energy. It is the source of our sexual energy, but also our creative passion as well. So that is actually what Kyle Gray is referring to in this book. So it's the same hub. So essentially, and again, you don't have, don't be alarmed, basically, is what he's saying, if that energy starts to come up, because you are getting excited about something, and sometimes it manifests in other ways in your spiritual center. So for example, and this kind of happens too, when I ignite my throat chakra, when I do a lot of reading, or when I start doing a lot of writing, sometimes I will feel compelled to come to the table and start doing oracle and tarot readings, or sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to do tarot readings, but then I feel drawn to other parts of my creative expression, because those are other things that kind of reside in my throat chakra, other ways that I love to express myself. So that's just one way that you can do it, or that's one way to look at it. But when you interact with an energy center like that, there are other elements of it that come out, and that's totally fine. You don't have to judge yourself for it. But that being said, Scorpio, thank you so much for your time, and thank you to you, your angel guides, and your spiritual energies. And I just heard your ancestors too have a heavy hand in this reading too. So thank you to your ancestors. Thank you to my spirit energies and my Archangel. I want to thank Archangel Michael because specifically he's coming through. I don't know why I'm getting thank very specific energies for this one, but thanking Archangel Michael for coming through and being a heavy hand in this reading. And thank you to all of the energies involved for helping me channel this message. I really do love and appreciate all of the guidance that I give because it also helps, inspires me in my own life too. So again, if this resonates with you in any way, liking the video definitely helps the channel a lot because it helps get the message across to other people. You can also subscribe so you don't miss content from me. I post weeklies, I post collective readings occasionally. I will also post pick a card sometimes whenever the mood strikes and whenever I feel the collective needs a message like that. I love doing those readings. And I'm launching a Patreon soon, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm also slowly introducing my ferret fam to the channel because if you're new to this, I actually have 4 ferrets, and I love sharing pieces of my life that I'm just starting to get into because I had to muster up some of that energy and be like, okay, I can be vulnerable. I can, put out what's happening in my life. So I'm still getting used to it. Bear with me, but I'm so excited to share my life and the lessons that I've learned and the different elements of my life that make up that just add to me and my spiritual wisdom. So, but thank you for watching. Leave a comment too if it resonates with you because I love to get to know you as well, and also just what types of things resonated with you and such. But there you go. So I love you, Scorpio, and I will see you next time. Bye.